Welcome to the ATP Project. You're with your hosts, Steve and Nicole. And today, what are we talking about?
Sleep.
Oh,
Don't look so bored, Steve.
No. It's funny because, you know, if I said we're going to talk about sleep and you're going, oh, stupid podcast, I'm turning it off. Don't turn this off.
No, don't. This one's a
interesting.
really interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to talk about just your general boring sleep stuff because it can be a boring topic,
Oh.
but we found some really cool things that we're going to show.
I'm going to hit you with a fact first up, meta-analysis. That's our Class A1 study.
Yeah.
If you don't sleep enough, you get dementia.
Oh, well, there you go. How's
that? Is
That's
that
a
one
good reason to
listen?
sleep. There's one very
Amazing.
good reason.
You know, this was a sleep medicine review, meta-analysis on sleep. If you don't sleep enough, and they tested like over 250,000 subjects.
Well, that's a big step.
And so it's a major risk factor for dementia.
It is.
I mean, before we even start on the whole, like we're going to go through systems and all this sort of stuff. But isn't that a good reason to make sure you're getting good night's sleep?
Yeah, here's a good reason.
And there's all these stages of sleep. So we're going to talk about circadian rhythms. We're going to talk about chemicals in the brain, hormones, gut stuff. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. I really enjoyed doing some prep for this one because there were some things, you know what, it makes you realise sometimes maybe you're not doing all the things that you should be doing. And as a naturopath, you know, you tell your clients to do all the right things and you maybe don't do them all yourself. Yeah. But it was a good reality check to go, hey, you know what, there's quite a lot of things that I can do to improve my sleep because I struggle with sleep sometimes as well. And our modern day world really is impacting so many people, and sleep it's a really big problem for a lot of people, a lot more people than you would think. I mean, majority of the clients that I see have issues with sleep.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've got to remember that sleep is an interesting one because there's this is where natural medicine shines, I think, in this area. There's some areas where medicine shines and natural medicine can still help, and there's some areas where medicine can help and natural medicine shines, etc. Now, in this one, if you go to the doctor and you can't sleep, you'll be offered, you know, a classic sleeping tablet. There's 3 classes of benzodiazepines that you take for sleep, a short, medium and long-acting one. And none of them are good options. The doctors are kind of reluctantly, you know, gives you the old script and don't take too many of these, and it's all that sort of stuff. Because benzos are very addictive. You get rebound insomnia once you come off them, and they're quite addictive.
They are.
Benzos are an abusive drug. You know, we've all heard of Stilnox or Ambien. That's a brand name of one of the Z drugs, Zolpidem, which is, look, you know, I've taken them before. They're good. They work. They help you sleep. But if you're a chronic insomniac, you don't want to be on these things long term. No,
and I've seen clients in the past that have been on Stilnox, some that have been on it for 10 years and can't get off it.
Well, one of my mates from years ago, this is in the news, so I'm not giving away any secrets. Grant Hackett, the swimmer, he got very badly addicted to Stilnox.
He did
because it's incredibly addictive, and you know women need half the amount that men do. It's one of those things that women need less of, but they come in like 5 milligram tablets. You really only need 2.5 milligrams, and now they come in 10 milligram tablets.
God, yeah, that's pretty high, isn't it?
And you know they're very addictive, and they're very popular because they've got a short half life, about 2.5 hours. So they get in your system, they get you to sleep, and then if you're insomniac later in the evening, you can wake up.
Yeah.
And there's a new one I think it's before the TJFTA now, where they're giving you a spray to take in the middle of the night. So if you wake up in the middle of the night, you spray this and it'll put you back to sleep.
Yeah.
And to me, it's sort of like, I mean, these things are okay, can be used short term, once in a blue moon. I'm not saying they're bad, and don't go off them if you're on them. But really, I mean, you know, you don't want to be taking these things long term.
Well, they're not fixing the underlying problem. The reason why you can't sleep, are they? They're just a Band-Aid. So, and, you know, can make things worse down the track.
And something you said was very interesting. You know, we're going to talk a lot about light impeding on sleep today.
Yes.
And I'm guilty of that.
Who isn't guilty of it?
Because
really?
I've got new globes in the house, and, you know, they were these old down lights. Got replaced to beautiful white LED lights.
White.
Magnificent white, like pure white. You know, does everyone know what temperature means in light? Like, these are white. Not yellow.
No.
But I have got a yellow globe that we've got upstairs that I'm going to now swap downstairs and, you know, at night time watch TV with the yellow light on.
Well, we're going to talk about lights, because I've changed over all my whites to soft white, that more yellow hue. Yeah, so we've got some really cool info on and little discussion on lighting. And, we think a lot of times we're doing the right things and we forget about our lighting at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about REM and non-REM sleep stages and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the first graphic I've got in front of me is the stages of sleep. Now, if you can sort of look at that, and for those who are listening, it looks like a little staircase where you go deep wake, deep sleep. Now, this is a normal, healthy sleep pattern where you go into a deep sleep and then you go into a shallow sleep. And as you can see, most of your REM sleep is in the morning, the last few hours. But, it's absolutely incredible that, there's all these stages of sleep. And you sleep a lot deeper in slow wave sleep, stage 3 sleep, deep sleep, in the early part of the evening.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, a lot of people I know stay up late.
Yeah, well, they watch TV, or some people watch TV in bed. Don't know who that would be.
Don't look at me. I don't do that.
No, I do it. I have done it. I don't do it anymore. I have done it.
Really?
Worst thing I ever did was get a TV in the bedroom, yes.
Wow.
I actually got a TV in the bedroom when I had COVID because I was in bed for 5 weeks. I was very sick with it.
Wow.
So, and I was just laying there bored. So I should put a TV in the bedroom to watch during the day, and it kind of crept into watching it a bit at nighttime, and then it became a bit of a habit. So I've kicked the habit, but that's not an uncommon thing. A lot of people have TV in the bedroom.
Oh, I don't do anything in the bedroom except sleep. I'm married.
That's true. All right, good point. Moving on.
Quick, what's the next topic?
Yeah. So we have lots of stuff to cover today, and what things that we can do to help improve our sleep. We're going to talk about at the end as well. So hang in there for that, because we've got some good tips.
Got sort of our top 5 herbs that we think are really useful to sleep. So we're going to give you all the problems. And we're going to try and give you some solutions at the end.
Yes.
But really, it's about lifestyle. So what was some of the cool things that you found? I've got the outline here.
Well, I mean, what can we talk about first is what is circadian rhythm. So circadian rhythm obviously drives our sleep-wake cycles.
Yeah.
So circadian rhythm basically is a 24-hour time. It's like 24 hours in time, essentially. So then what happens throughout that period, we have our waves and our rhythms that our body goes through. So I think it's good to talk about, because if people can understand from a physiological standpoint how things are actually impacting our normal cycles, they're more likely to go, oh, yeah, you know what, actually, I probably shouldn't do that. They think about it a little bit more, rather than just saying, you know what, don't do this and do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. So I think we've lost sight of our actual natural rhythms, because the modern world, we have access to computers and we have access to things 24 hours a day. Lighting, we have artificial lighting now, so we can light things up at night instead of going through those normal cycles of light in the morning and dark at night. So physiologically, we have what's called a master clock. And we have peripheral clocks and we have gene clocks. So all of these things will help to keep our body in a good rhythm, circadian rhythm, so that we know what time we're supposed to wake up, what time we, eat, what's the best time to eat, that type of thing. So, so we need to have a look at that, and what we are, because unfortunately, physiologically, we haven't caught up with the modern world.
No,
as far as the screens and the lights and the 24-hour access to everything. So our body is still trying to work on, back in the day when we didn't have really lighting at night, and we'd get up with the sun and we'd go to bed when the sun went down.
Well, there's old photos of the old times in England, where my ancestry is, where they used to come around with a big long stick and bang on the window to wake you up.
Oh, wow. Did you say that was when you were young?
Yeah, that's when I was a kid, yeah. Jeez. But because, okay, let's go back, like we can go back to caveman days where there was no thing over it. Let's even go back 200 years, okay? It's 1823, okay? We're all kicking around. It's pre-gold rush times. We've got, but imagine living in England then. There's no TV.
No.
There's no electricity. There was starting to become electricity, but, we're talking about Edison was around then, and, of course, Nikola Tesla with their fights of AC/DC power.
Yes.
So AC was the winner, just in case you...
I was wondering.
Yeah. DC is good for your car.
Is it? Okay, good.
But not good for powering your house.
Okay.
But anyway, so electricity was, nigh on impossible to get. There was only certain areas in New York and that sort of thing. But no one had electricity. So if you got home from your day of work, your physical job, because there was nothing, you let's say you were, I don't know, making dresses and I was cleaning chimneys and we got home. We're a couple
this
now.
is a Monty going into a Monty Python movie.
Now it's August as we're recording this and the sun sets around 5:30. It's pretty dark. What the hell do you do?
That's right. Maybe that's why there were so many children.
I don't mean that.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, Steve.
Cheeky girl.
Sorry. We're on the same
Okay,
wavelength.
there's that. So after 3 minutes, what then?
Like I said, that's why there were so many children.
3 minutes once.
No, apart from that, you'd probably just go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you come around with the tapper on the window, or maybe this even you couldn't access that. You just woke up when it was light so you could see what the heck you were doing. You making the dresses, me cleaning the chimneys. There was nothing really else that you had to distract your day. It was day-night cycle. So we went to sleep pretty early. I mean, if you had the wax candle burning and you had your light there, maybe to watch like read something.
Read a paper?
Yeah, read the King James Bible. It wasn't too many books back then. So, there was the Origin of Species wasn't even around then either. That was 1850. So, you didn't have much to read.
Yeah.
And so you didn't stay up late.
No.
So you went to sleep at 7 o'clock.
That's right. Yeah.
And I mean, look at us now.
Well, I mean, is that contributing to the amount of modern day diseases that we are seeing now that we never used to see? Which we will talk about. And, what sort of health issues can come about from not sleeping.
I mentioned one, bloody dementia.
That's a really...
I mean, I almost forgot it.
And that's getting more common. Yeah.
It's which one did I mention? Dementia.
Yeah.
I mean, and dementia is growing now. Now we're living older, but this could be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we can talk about how physiologically the light, we actually need to interact with the light at the right times of the day to actually help our sleep. So, you can see people who are doing all the right things. Their eating is on point, they're exercising, they're doing all the healthy things, and they're not sleeping. No. Either they're staying up late or they're doing, something else. And that, if you're not doing that, then what's the point of doing everything else on point? Because you can still have a lot of issues with that. With health.
It's
out of
nuts.
that. Yeah.
And you've got a great summary here, which blows my mind about all the diseases associated with lack of sleep. It's ridiculous.
It's quite long, isn't it?
Well, the first 3 and 4 and 5 sort of are semi-related. But like metabolic syndrome, obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension. I mean, they're all sort of metabolic diseases and very much all related to obesity. Now, when you sleep, your appetite is regulated. When you're tired, you actually increase ghrelin levels.
Yes.
So you actually get more hungry. So let's take the average Joe six-pack out there who can't sleep, and they are trying everything to help them sleep, but they're not sleeping well, not sleeping enough. They're hungry all the time. People don't crave broccoli.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't go, oh, my God, I could go for some steamed broccoli now. My wife might. She likes Brussels sprouts.
Roasted Brussels sprouts. Have you ever had them? Oh, I don't do Brussels sprouts. There's a long story. I was traumatised as a child.
Tell us the trauma of you of Brussels sprouts.
My mum denies this story, but she denies that she did it more than once, but my brothers and I think that that's not true. She cooked them in orange juice. And remember that back in the day you'd get just that plastic berry orange juice or whatever it was, and it tasted awful. It tasted awful.
Tastes like sugar.
Yeah, it's horrible. So she cooked them in that. So from that day, none of us could eat them. But I roast them now, and they're beautiful. So you can either do it 2 ways. So you can peel them, just peel the whole lot off till there's nothing left. Put it in a bowl, mix it in with some olive oil, salt, seasoning, and roast the little leaves and chew on them like chips. That's awesome. Or you can put them in whole and roast them, and the outside gets all crunchy and the inside just goes mushy. Really good for anyone who likes.
Yep. I hope Beck's listening to this podcast right now.
Oh, get onto it, Beck.
She steams them, and I avoid them like the bubonic plague.
There you go. No, get them in the oven, Rebecca. Yeah, and you get Steve eating them.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
So you're lacking sleep, you're eating badly, you're probably going to crave stimulants. People are going to have the energy drinks, usually full of sugar, Coca-Colas, the coffee's full of sugar, anything to get them through the day because they're lacking sleep.
Yeah.
And you do that for a few years, you're in big trouble.
Big trouble.
And this is what drives all this sort of stuff. It's absolutely remarkable.
Exactly.
And you tell them, no, don't eat. bad stuff, eat good stuff, but they're not craving good stuff.
No.
And so unless they got willpower like you did when you were training 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
I mean, I still train, but
oh yeah, you do. Yeah, sorry.
Not training for a
yeah.
And yes, but yes, when I was competing, I was eating. I probably would have got up and eaten broccoli. Not now though.
Broccoli and chickily as we call it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. But there's lots of data on some of the effects of sleep. And this is this paper that I mentioned before about dementia. This is sleep disturbances. So what we're talking about is all like the insomnia, classic one that we've talked about, lack of getting sleep or staying asleep.
Yeah.
Sleep disordered breathing, so like sleep apnea, the snorers, and other sleep problems like excessive daytime sleepiness, sleep-related movement disorder, circadian rhythm disorder, all cause dementia.
Yeah. Wow.
And vascular dementia subtypes. Wow. And again, this is a systemic review, so a major piece of evidence. So this screws with your brain. Now, the sleep thing, there's a system in your brain called the glial system, the glymphatic system.
Glymphatic system, yeah.
Not the lymphatic system. We're not stuttering. It's glymphatic system.
Yep.
And that sort of, starts to work and clean out your brain as you sleep.
Yes.
So if you're not sleeping well enough, your brain's not going to be clean.
Detoxing your brain. Yeah. No.
So, I mean, it causes all sorts of things and absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It really, really, it is a definite, in this paper I've got here, it's definite a predictor of healthy and chronic disease. So, it really is such an important thing. Now, do you want to know that both papers came up with levels of sleep, what they thought was ideal?
Oh, okay.
7 to 8 hours, both of them.
Really? 7 to 8 hours is what is ideal for somebody? Ideal
of quality sleep.
How many people do you think get that?
Oh, rarely.
Not a lot.
Maybe I do. Because I'm old and I try and, you should disagree with that.
That you don't get 7 or 8 hours sleep?
That I'm young.
Oh, right. Yeah, got it. You are young, Steve.
But I don't do it like I used to in the olden days. We used to stay up all night very regularly.
Yes.
Very regularly. I would
teenagers as well, and young people, and they can stay up late and still function, but that's because they have more resilience.
Yeah, they do.
As you get older, you lose that resilience.
Isn't youth wasted on the young?
Totally, yeah. That's a saying, isn't it?
It's a saying. It's like, I wish I had that again.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had that with the brain I have now.
Yeah.
Or the knowledge. Experience. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess we can go through maybe some of the reasons for poor sleep. So
what are some of the reasons? What do you encounter?
Well, okay, so there's a lot. Oh. So, I mean, obviously there's just your general sleep hygiene issues. Yep. So that's,
So what's hygiene? What do you mean? You have a shower?
So when we say, that there is that. But when we're talking sleep hygiene, we're meaning, what environment are you in when you're trying to sleep or before you're sleeping? So screen time, things like that. Are you in a cool room? Are you in a hot room? Are you getting ventilation? Those types of things can be really impactful on your sleep. So we'll talk about a few of those.
Wow.
Hormonal imbalance is a really common reason for sleep.
Well, we've got hormones. What do you mean by imbalances?
When we're having dysregulation with our hormone production, perhaps, or that sort of thing. So postmenopausal or late perimenopausal, not even late perimenopausal women, but particularly postmenopausal when they lose those hormones, really common to get insomnia. We can have women, who possibly have estrogen dominance or low progesterone levels even, because obviously progesterone is our relaxation herb. It helps to produce GABA in the brain, that type of thing, which helps to get us to sleep.
GABA is GABA-aminobutyric acid, which is a great thing to switch the brain off.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Some women who have low progesterone levels maybe have more anxiety, can't sleep, that type of thing. And then obviously your things like your PCOS, which related back to that metabolic syndrome, which can impede sleep, and also lack of sleep can cause metabolic issues, as you said. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. Very vicious.
PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Yes.
About 1 in 7 women. It's where it's characterised by too many androgens in women.
That's right.
A thickness around the waist.
Yes.
Oligomenorrhea, so they don't get the progesterone produced every month that they crave.
Yep.
So really bad one.
Really
what else there?
Men can have low testosterone levels. That can impact their sleep.
You're looking at me when you're saying that.
And I didn't mean to, Steve.
Oh, it's probably true. I'm 54 now.
That's true. You are 54.
It's like, we decline about 1 to 3% every year.
Yeah. And obviously lifestyle factors will really impact that as well.
Yeah.
As well. So some men can have high estrogen.
Yep.
So they can have issues, and then that causes a whole slew of issues. So hormonal imbalance is a big one.
Massive.
Yeah.
But let's say like the average 54-year-old, we're typically overweight. About 70 to 80% of my demographic are overweight.
Yeah.
So they're going to have higher estrogen, they're going to have sleep apnea, so they're screwed for sleep-wise. And many other reasons, problems, but there's sleep really bad.
And even, say, fit people, or women, I'll talk about women particularly, women who train hard, they're doing all the right things and not nowhere near menopause, they can still have issues maybe with low progesterone because they're having a low-carb diet or they're over-exercising, and that can impact their progesterone production. So they can have poor sleep in regards to that as well. So it's not just women later in life. They can have hormonal issues. Well,
let's say you're a super athlete like you were, and I won't ask about your menstrual cycle unless you want to talk about it. But if you're burning lots of fats in your body and you're super duper lean like you were, your cholesterol levels drops.
That's right.
Cholesterol is required to make progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, all of them.
Yes.
So, you got low cholesterol, you got screwed hormones.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So hormonal issues. So that's a big one, and we can talk a little bit about, possibly if we get time, how we can help that.
Yeah.
Another one is gut issues.
Gut issues?
Yes.
What's that got to do with the brain?
Well, what does it have to do with the brain? Do we know about the old gut-brain axis?
Well,
heard about that one?
We've done a few podcasts on that, but just to refresh people, so my gut has we're not talking about gut pain, we're not talking about disease of the gut, we're talking about dysbiosis of the gut. And you're absolutely right. The gut microbiome is a huge effect. Remember, most of the serotonin is made in your gut.
That's right.
Serotonin is a precursor to melatonin. These things help you sleep.
Yeah.
To keep it simple.
That's right.
So you need a healthy gut. Now, most people don't have a healthy gut.
No.
Because we're under eating polyphenols.
That's right. And we can talk about, should we talk about the study on, should we talk about the gut first and we'll talk about the study on polyphenols, because that was pretty cool.
Oh,
that can help you sleep.
Did I print that thing out?
I don't know. We've got a million on papers
so.
here. I'm sure that you did actually on one of those. I think it's on the back there near our little.
Good.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Oh, there, yes.
Yeah. So yes, inflammation in the gut obviously can have a huge impact, because then can cause systemic inflammation, LPS production, lipopolysaccharides, and then that can impact the brain as well and cause sleep issues. Parasites is a really interesting one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So parasites are most active in the middle of the night. So a lot of people will find that if they've got parasites, they get anal itching.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear on a podcast. I've never heard anal itching before said on a podcast.
They can find that they might get a bit itchier at night time.
Hopefully usually kids these days. But
yes, generally kids. But, I've seen clients that have had parasites, been overseas and got parasites and things like that. It's not an uncommon thing to see parasites in stool analysis. So so that can be a big one, parasites as well. And then, and then as you said, dysbiosis and that type of thing, and that inflammation that comes along with that. And then obviously that lack of neurotransmitter production within the gut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
exactly.
that's really common.
And the inflammation is interesting, because in the brain, if you've got inflammation, you get tryptophan, and tryptophan turns into quinolinic acid.
Yes.
Not serotonin.
That's right. We don't want
and it's called
high
the
levels of that.
tryptophan steal. If you want to, we did a podcast on that 1 billion years ago. But yeah, we talk about that level of inflammation. Now, this is really common.
Yeah.
People have got shitty guts.
It's really common. Really common.
Well, like with your clients, since you practice and you work full time as a naturopath, when you're not here, like how many people do you treat the gut with?
Well, I treat everybody's gut.
That's exactly right.
I would do a stool analysis on probably, I'm going to say 50% of my clients.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but everybody I will do gut work with, everybody, even if they're not having gut issues, because obviously they're coming to see me with an issue. So if you don't treat the gut, what's the point of treating everything else?
It's so true.
Yeah. So the gut's
if you could master the gut as a natural therapist or even doctor, whatever, if you got that right, most conditions would clear up.
Yeah, exactly. All health begins in the gut. Is that saying?
That's Hippocrates.
And then we can come back to the eating at night as well. So if you're eating at night because you can't sleep, and we'll talk about a little bit of, we've got a little bit of a, what would you call that, circadian clock that shows all the different, what the systems are doing, and we can look at the gut late at night, but we're not designed to eat late at night. So what happens in that instance is our enzyme and acid production reduces at nighttime. So then we're trying to eat something. We don't have the acids and enzymes to break it down. Then that can create its own issues. Then that creates more issues with sleep. And then so we eat more because we can't sleep. And then again, another vicious cycle.
Correct. And when you say eating at, quote, night, let's say we're watching Netflix. Actually, I spoke to a staff member. I won't mention his name here, but he saw a movie on the weekend, Oppenheimer, which is a physicist who was the first to hypothesize the black holes in 1939. I don't know if this is relevant, but he also developed the atomic bomb, which is what the movie was about. But I know him as a physicist because I'm a physicist, in the old days. And, but apart from doing the atomic bomb, the guy was telling me, I won't mention his name, went to the movies with his wife, and it's a 3-hour movie, and they just ate snacks towards the end of it. Now, what time of night is that?
That's right.
It's like 8, 9 at night you're eating.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, you're not going to crave broccoli. You're going to be doing things like high carb or high fat foods.
It's high sugar.
Yeah, and so then what's that going to do to your blood sugars? And then you're going to go and lay down.
Yeah.
So then that comes back to contributing to metabolic issues. So, yeah. So that's the gut. So the gut is a big factor.
Now, going to the movies and watching Netflix and chill is very common these days.
Do you know what Netflix
that's right. That's got a double meaning. That's got a double meaning.
I actually did this. We're showing our age because I didn't know what that meant up until a year ago.
When you said that, I realised that means something. I honestly thought it meant Netflixing, watching Netflix on television.
And chilling out.
Chilling out on the couch.
I did too. And
chilling out's a common word. Netflix is a new word.
I know.
When they combine.
Yeah, I got a 30-year-old brother that looked at me when I brought that up, and he's just like, he looked at me like I was an alien. And I said, I didn't know what it meant either.
I didn't know what it meant, except for watching Netflix and chilling out.
Well, you would think that, but no. That means coming completely different. So then, either way, they're not going to be sleeping, are they?
Exactly.
So,
They might have a snack after their activities.
You just
can we leave it at that?
We can leave it at that.
Activities.
We can move on to maybe another reason that we can get poor sleep.
Bail me out.
Okay. So light. Is a really common, obviously,
so
one.
So it's on or it's off? Is that all it is?
It's not. Well, that's part of it, but there's a lot more to it than that.
You blew my mind when you were talking about this. I was interested.
Oh, we will talk about that, lux meters and all sorts of things.
Lux meters.
Yeah.
Now, lux is a measurement of light.
Measured light, yeah.
Now, if you're like me in a four-wheel driver, you'll have spotlights and it'll say, how bright is it? 11,000 lux. And it's got 1 lux at, in my case, 1.3 kilometres. So 1.3 kilometres, it's 1 candle light a metre away from it.
Yeah, that's 1 lux.
If you say from here to the wall, if you put a candle there, the amount of light in there is 1 lux.
Yeah. So it's pretty low, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
you can still read a newspaper. But
so it's quite low. So light is a big one. So light exposure. So obviously it doesn't just apply to watching your screen at night. This goes back to the entire day. So how you set your day and how you interact with the light can impact your sleep. So as far, we can go right back to when we wake up in the morning, we're supposed to wake up with the sun and the light. So when we wake up, we're supposed to go outside and get the sunlight in our eyes. And that actually helps to push up our cortisol, which we will talk about cortisol and melatonin and our cortisol awakening response and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So light in the mornings is really important. So we wake with the light and we want to have good light exposure throughout the day. So what happens a lot of time with people, they go and work in an office all day. So they're getting some artificial light. They might be in a dull office perhaps, and then they might leave work 5:30, go home, go into their house and turn all their lights on. Yeah. And they've got all these bright lights. They've got their screen on their TV, and then they sit there for an hour relaxing, and then they go to bed and then expect to fall asleep.
Sounds like my day today.
Sounds like most people's day, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, we are, it's now, about 11:30 or 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock.
And we're in a room, there's no windows in this room.
No, there isn't.
We're going to be doing recording another podcast over this. So we're going to a lot of the day in here.
Yeah.
Our offices are windowless. What we do is we don't look outside. And this is not uncommon.
No. It's
not uncommon. We showed a picture of, remember, looking online before, and we put up someone's office. I won't mention the brand name. But we can't use that.
We can't use that, no.
Yeah.
That was a funny one.
A private joke.
Yes, but
so no light. No
light.
No natural light.
No natural light. So we have a protein in our retina called melanopsin.
Oh, yeah, melanopsin.
Yeah, and that sends a signal to the pituitary and then back to the master clock, which is sort of sets our 24-hour clock, essentially. That's located in the suprachiasmatic nucleus.
Oh, God, Nick.
in the hypothalamus. And our melanopsin is very sensitive to red light and not so much blue light. So blue light will basically impact your melanopsin production. So you want, and that basically melanopsin sends a signal back to produce melatonin, which is what we want at night time.
Right.
So melatonin comes up at night. Obviously, cortisol goes down, and then it switches, and towards getting closer to the morning, your cortisol comes up, and your melatonin goes down. But cortisol will suppress melatonin production. So it just doesn't come up no matter what. You've got to have the right lighting. So, so in the morning, obviously you want to get outside, and that produces that activates your cortisol. So it gets your cortisol up in the morning, and then you have your brightness throughout the day. But not just artificial light, get in the sunshine. Because we want that natural light as well. Yeah. And then as the day wears on, as I said, you start to, as it gets darker, you come home, and then you come into a house with low light. So you keep your lights low. Yeah. Your screens, obviously we're all on our screens, we're all on our TVs. You can get red light filters for everything these days. Yep. Even your TVs, which I found out the other day. So I found that on my smart TV.
Really?
Yeah. So you can get them on your TV. So they will actually lower the light to a more safe level for your eyes at night time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you want to keep away from all your LED lighting, those fluorescent lights, that type of thing.
They're in our place too, the LED ones.
Yeah. They're everywhere because they're energy saving.
Yeah.
So, those compact LEDs. So but they're not good for your circadian rhythm. So that's why I've changed back to the white, the warm white, not the cold white. So that warmer colour, more yellow in it. So at night time you want to have that. So we're not getting that. Obviously no one's really doing that. They're not coming home. I've always actually had a house with lamps on at night, not lights. Yeah. But in the last 12 months it's been a bit different.
Can I tell you something that is modern for me that is rare, because I'm pretty old-fashioned and conservative and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. But there is type of lights now that you can buy, and I bought one because I want to test it out. Okay, it was online, just cheapy. It's an LED light that you can actually change the colours to red, green, blue and all that sort of stuff.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I got one, Bluetooth one. It's controlled from your phone.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I was testing it upstairs. I'm going to bring it downstairs. And I don't know if this still means the same thing it does or it used to mean. If you put a red light on, does that still mean what I think it means?
You've got to have it outside your front door, I think.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah,
I haven't been to many of those
fine,
since the 80s.
If you get any weird knocks on the door, maybe change it.
But okay, all right, all jokes aside, if I put it on red, that would be all right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be fantastic for your eyes. So, and there is companies, and I thought this is a great business idea actually, but there are companies that go in and do circadian lighting in your home. Mackerel. So they'll actually, you switch them. So during the day, they're quite bright, or in the morning, and as the day goes on, they dim down. So at night time, they're very low, and that goes in with your normal circadian rhythm, and that can help with your sleep. So I've got this little graph here that shows our natural light. I'll hold it up to the camera. So that basically shows from nighttime to sunrise, midday, obviously then coming down to sunset and back to night. Yeah. So look at the colour. I mean, obviously black goes into red, then more your yellows and your blue during the day. So you want to have that blue light earlier in the morning up to lunchtime, and then you want to start moving back into your your more softer lights. So, and people don't do that. So lighting is a huge issue. So it's not just screens at night, but there are a lot of apps. I actually found an app. I found all this stuff, Steve, when I was researching.
Tell the people about that, the Lux app.
I found two apps. The Lux app. But you can get something called a Lux app. So it measures your Lux. It's a Lux meter.
It's a measurement of light.
Measurement of light. So I got the free one. So
how
just testing it out. So we looked at how bright you were before, Steve. It was off the charts. Yeah, off the charts. But you just hold, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you just hold it up to a light. So we've got the light in the room, to the back here. So 185 lux. Yeah. And we move it up more to the light, and it's going up to 380 lux, up to 396, because we've got the big spotlights. So, and all you have to do is hold it up to the light. And that can show you, you want to have it lower at night time and higher during the day. So, and that's a free app.
So Roxanne was right. You got to put on the red light.
You do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Sam was right.
Do people know that one, or is that too old?
I think that might be.
The
Well,
youngest
some
one.
people might know.
Well,
I know it. Anyway, maybe the night ones
of
don't
course.
know.
So it's funny because I've got that globe that I ordered online, which is about $4, and I'm going to make it the main light downstairs.
we know that you know the price, Steve. The low
It was
price.
$4.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's
Fully
actually
delivered.
cheap because the ones I saw were like $30.
No, these are $4.
Oh, you got the cheap one.
I'll show you later.
Okay.
I'll buy you
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
I'll buy you one.
All right.
It's so cheap.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And your Bluetooth from your phone. So you can dull your light to whatever colour you want.
But if you're using your phone, make sure you've got your red light filter on your Bluetooth phone before you change your light globe.
You know, I bought a washing machine the other day, and that's got an app for my phone for it too.
Does it?
It's like
There's apps for everything.
But this is kind of relates to our topic of sleep. Is everything is on your damn phone?
Everything, yeah. So I haven't found it. Well, it's not an app. It's actually if you've got an iPhone, it's in your phone. You can actually put a filter on it, but you can change it. So with mine now, see, it's normal color, and then I just tap it 3 times, and it goes red. How cool is that? That was such a good hack I found. And it's just in your phone, and you can set it to really red. So, you can have it very red, which is a little bit hard to read, but you just flick it on obviously later in the afternoon or in the evening, and then you've got red, and you can do that to your phones. You can do it to your TV screens. You turn your lights down, and then you're setting yourself up for better sleep.
I'm going to get the globe, and now I figured out how to work it. I'm going to put it downstairs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a red light on for watching television, dull with red on.
Put your red light filter on your TV as well. You remember to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to
everything?
figure that out.
Yeah. Google it, Steve.
You got to remember that the red light is a longer wavelength.
Yes.
That's what it means. And,
Yeah.
So the longer the wavelength, the different physiological effects the light has. It's not just light. It's different wavelengths of light.
Yeah.
It's around 600 nanometers. I can't remember the wavelengths, but blue's about 4.
Yeah.
So there's a complete difference between them. And, it's really interesting that physiological effect of light on the body. It's incredible.
So that's a huge one. So screens is a big one. Obviously, we all know about jet lag. We don't need to really go into that, how that can be a factor. There's something called social jet lag.
Oh, what's that?
So social jet lag is, people that may stay up later on the weekends, go out, partying or friends or
That's
whatever.
Why I don't know what it is, because I don't do any of that.
No, I don't do any of that anymore either. But,
sure you do.
back in the day, you'd stay up late Friday night because you had to get up early every day for work otherwise. So you stay up late Friday night, you stay up late Saturday night. And then Sunday night comes around and you're tired because you've been partying all weekend, Steve, and then you try to get to sleep.
Years ago, yeah.
And suddenly you can't. So Monday morning you're feeling horrible because your circadian rhythm has been thrown out of whack. So, and those 2 days is enough to do that. So obviously we want to set a routine where we're going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, and that helps to keep our circadian rhythm healthy.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Because, everyone thinks I'm a nut job for getting up at 4:30 on Saturdays and Sunday mornings because I try and go to bed early. Look, there's sometimes I don't, and it's very rare, but sometimes I don't. I'm doing something social, which is very rare. But you really do have to, it's like, it's Sunday, I'll sleep in. That's the worst thing for you.
It is the worst thing. It's the worst thing for
really
Monday
bad.
morning when you've actually got to get up for work.
Yeah, and
you've
then
got to
people wake
struggle
up morning, they go,
That's right.
Why am I tired? It's like, because you slept in Sunday because you stayed up late Monday. It's really bad.
It is. So that's really
I'm a hawk for that. I really am. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
It's so people use the calendar to dictate their health, and I really think that's disturbing. They'll use it to sleep in.
Yeah.
They'll use it when it comes to diets. I'll start that on Monday for some reason.
Yeah.
And then they'll be eating junk food. But it's Saturday. Blame the calendar for their diet.
Yeah.
The calendar is not something you dictate your health by.
Well, we don't have an internal calendar. We do have an internal body clock, though. So we need to listen to that more than looking at the calendar.
Circadian rhythm. I love that because, when I first learning about it, I thought, those cicadas are noisy in the garden. They do wake you up.
I love cicadas. Cicada.
Yeah.
We're Victorians, Steve. We say A's, not... No, what do we say? Castle, not castle in Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? Because you've been a Queenslander for a long time.
I've been Queenslander for 30-something years.
And we say cicada in Victoria and cicada.
Yeah, that's true.
Here. Yeah, anyway, it's just an aside.
Really noisy little...
I love them. They remind me of Christmas.
You love them?
I love the noise. Yeah, it reminds me of Christmas. Because at Christmas time it's hot and the cicadas are out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm a summer person like you.
I love summer.
How are you, because you used to train a lot, but you also were exposed to the sun a lot.
I was, yeah.
Now you're talking about lights and that. Now, today it's winter, but when we have lunch after this, I'll go out to my car and get a bit of light and sun and that sort of thing. It won't be enough, it won't be much, but it's something.
Yeah.
But you know, how did you find how do you react to sleeping and when it comes to getting out in the daylight? Because it affects me.
Yeah, if I don't get out in the daylight, it really affects me.
Yeah.
So I've always been someone that goes on a little bit less sleep. I haven't, my whole life I've been more of a less sleep, which I probably shouldn't say on thing, but I'm maybe 6 hours a night, 6 hours a night. I've always been fine on, maybe a little bit more now, but I've always got up, gone out and exercised first thing in the morning, obviously. And I find the days when, say here, we're in the studio, there's no natural light, I find I get quite groggy and foggy in the head quite quickly. So it definitely impacts me not getting out and getting that natural light.
Yeah. I was feeling it before, actually. I was feeling like, I got a podcast good, but I'm feeling a bit sort of but I've come good now, of course. But but you're right. You know, because I drove to work this morning and I didn't put my sunglasses on because it's a bit of a grey morning, so I didn't cop that blue sunlight thing. And so I really think that makes a difference.
Well, that's another thing, sunglasses, which we weren't even going to talk about. But sunglasses can be a negative thing as well because it blocks the light getting into your eyes during the day, particularly in the morning, and that can impact things as well. So no sunglasses.
I know, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's another one. Less daytime activity.
Yeah.
So people are so sedentary these days. A lot of people are so sedentary. We are, you know, for work and things like that.
During the day, even you and I are, because we're not going to go for a run at lunchtime.
No. Well, the days I'm here, I don't train like I do, obviously, when I'm not here. Because I've got to come in early and that sort of thing. So
I got up a run, but I started running at 5. It was pitch black.
Yeah.
I was worried about falling over on the concrete.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, not old man. Yeah.
But activity is another part of it. We don't have that activity.
No.
Our body's designed to move during the day and be more sedentary at night, but we're quite sedentary through the day, so that just definitely impacts our circadian rhythm as well.
And there's people give reasons why they can't be active, and I think I was telling you before about I spoke to someone on the weekend, and I was talking to my mum this morning about this actually, because she's 80 and she's been to the gym and everything, and she's 80 years old. And the reasons are kind of like important, but they're not important to your body. You have to exercise.
Yeah.
Now, if you blame A, B, C, D, if you don't regular exercise, the body doesn't care.
No.
It's the facts don't care about the feelings.
That's
if
right.
you feel like you're, I've spoken to people that blame their kids for them not exercising, which I think is, or they blame, and there may be great reasons, they may be, but the body doesn't care. You're still going to struggle with sleep.
No, that's right, exactly.
I was up late for a very good reason. I was saving the children orphanage from burning out. It still stuffs you up.
Yeah.
So you can have
if you are saving children from an orphanage, do that. Don't go home and get sleep instead. Save the orphanage.
I get tired around 8:30.
That's more important.
I think I'm joking.
Exercise is a big one. Occupational factors like shift workers.
Yeah.
But even within that shift workers, you're not, most people aren't on a regular schedule where they're working every night and sleeping every day. They might do a week of nights and then a week of afternoons, depending on their occupation. Yeah. So therein lies problems in itself. Your body just has no idea.
Oh, far out.
Yeah.
When I was a chemist, it was kind of convenient and not convenient because, all I did was, because I worked from 11 till 7, they're the times I used to sleep. So I was working, and the times that I would go home in the morning. But it screws. It's like if you're a machine, it'd be perfect. You sleep when you're awake and wake when you're asleep, and there's still this afternoon time from 3 till sort of 11 where you had your own free time. But it's bad. Your body's not designed for it. Your circadian rhythms are way out. And a lot of people do night duties.
That's right. So that's a really...
Or even afternoon duties.
Yeah, even afternoon shifts. I mean, my dad and my stepdad were policemen when I was growing up, and they'd have an afternoon shift and a night shift and a morning shift, and, nurses or people in the health industry. Yeah, Beck, yeah.
She's not working today, and it's a Tuesday, so slacker.
Well, hopefully she's listening to this if she's not working.
She worked on the weekend, so I'm just having a go.
Yeah, no.
But it's all over the shop.
Yeah.
Like she's still regular with her exercise and that sort of stuff. And like she may even, she'll still get up and exercise in the morning, even after an afternoon shift, getting home at 11. but she may have an afternoon nap or something. So it's just still screws
Just
you.
it throws everything
And people
out
say,
of
what
whack.
do I do about that? There's very little you can do
There's
about it.
not a lot you can do,
because your body's not
unfortunately.
designed for it.
Yeah, and that's why, I mean, is that possibly why there's a high prevalence of mental health issues in those industries? Could that contribute to that? Obviously, the work itself can do, but maybe there's a contributing factor with the lack of sleep as well.
Well, of course, there was the famous Nurses' Health study, which showed nurses get more breast cancer because of their lack of melatonin. It's another story, but wow, terrible thing. Oh, I love this one. Systemic inflammation.
Systemic inflammation, yeah. So, I mean, that can come back to the gut, immune issues. We're getting viruses, environmental toxins like mold infection, things like that can cause systemic inflammation. Obviously, that throws everything out of whack. So that's fairly common, people that have those.
One of the 2 million people that have arthritis in Australia.
That's right, yeah.
You know? I mean, when I had my arthritis, I was sleeping a lot because I was very sick, but it wasn't quality sleep.
No.
I was always tired.
Yeah.
Always. And you know, when I was in hospital with this, it was kind of weird because it's going to sound really bizarre, but because I had my ankylosing spondylitis and it was an autoimmune disease, so I was really inflamed. And the only times I'd wake up is for breakfast, lunch and dinner pretty much. The rest of the time I was just sleeping during the day and at night. And that's not healthy.
It's not healthy,
That was terrible. Like you with COVID, you were saying before.
Yeah. So that's
now, dietary habits.
Yeah.
Give us some bad ones. I've got an interesting good one.
Have you? Okay. Yeah. So dietary habits. So people who maybe eat high-carb diets throughout the day. So I'm not talking about before bed. I'm talking about throughout the day. So perhaps they're having a high-carb breakfast and then, some breads for lunch or something like that. So they're spiking their blood sugar throughout the day. They're dysregulating their leptin and ghrelin, that type of thing. So, and then it comes to nighttime, so they're hungry, or they may not feel hungry, but their blood sugar is so dysregulated that can wake them up. So what you do during the day, what you put in your mouth, can impact you at night.
It's remarkable. I mean, what I love about that is also the good old. Let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's say you're a healthy gym goer and you finish work at 5 today, and you get your pre-workout and you swig that down because you've been working all day. Caffeine's got a half-life of 5 hours.
Yeah.
You're going to struggle to sleep because that's an adenosine blocker, and adenosine's required for sleep.
Yeah.
So, even if you're struggling sleeping, and the energy drinks people drink these days.
Oh, they're crazy. Like they're
everywhere.
Yeah, really bad. Yeah. They're quite strong. So, and even people who go to the gym, some go 9, 10 at night and they're in the lights and the music and the stimulation and obviously the actual exercise itself. Yeah. It really puts your sleep out. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
and also they don't do it every night. It's just the changes of your body.
Yeah.
And that's self-inflicted, that one a little bit.
Yeah.
And people will justify their actions. They'll call themselves another species of animal to do it.
Yeah, I know this one. I have an owl, Steve. I said sloth last time.
Yes, sloth.
Owl it is the answer.
It's owl. They call themselves night owls. It's like, you're not a night owl. No. You're a human.
And that's the funny thing. People say, no, but I function better at night. I work so well at night and I'm not a morning person. Yeah. That's because you've thrown your circadian rhythm way out.
Not healthy.
No, and you can retrain it, which we can talk about.
Oh, I've retrained it. I was a muso of all things.
Yeah, you were a muso. Yeah, I've heard all
it's funny. I've got a gig this weekend from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m.
No, is that at the local aged care?
The local tavern. But isn't that funny how they're the sort of gigs I'm doing these days.
Yeah.
It's like 1 till 4 p.m. Even it'll fit in. I'll be home for dinner by 6.
Yeah.
Normally,
bed by 8.
In the olden days, I used to start busking at 10 p.m. Start busking in Surfers Paradise. Finish first light. Yeah. So 4 to 5 a.m.
Wow. Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I ever did. How did I also pay my way through naturopathy college?
Well, there you go.
I didn't have a rich family or anything. I just had to pay for it. There was no Hexy, Austudy, whatever things around nowadays.
No help back then.
Feast things, whatever. Yeah, none of that stuff. You just went busking.
Yeah, that's right.
You had a power book come in, you went busking.
Yeah.
You'd have to go on a Sunday night. But it was terrible. Even in my 20s, I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
Because you never really slept.
No.
And, I was calling myself a night owl then, and I was telling everyone how tough I was, being stupid at it.
But it's when you're young, it's like, I stay up all night, and it's like a badge of honour.
It was a badge of honour.
Yeah.
I'd go surfing on the Sunday. If I'd bust Sunday night, I'd go surfing on the way home and go to class and feel like absolute dog's breakfast.
Yeah, your brain's not going to function properly, is it?
No, I didn't.
No.
Can't believe I passed. But but I did. I'm qualified naturopath. So anyway.
Yeah. So don't you have stress? We all know high stress. Obviously,
stress is shock.
Cortisol shoots you. Cortisol, as we said, blocks your melatonin production, so that's going to impact your sleep significantly.
How many patients do you see with high stress?
95%.
Yeah.
I have not seen one person that says I'm not stressed. Yeah. Oh, no, I do. I'd say occasionally see people say I'm not stressed, but they are.
Yes, that's true.
They just are so used to the stress that they kind of feel like it's normal now. But everyone has high stress, so that's a big one. And then obstructive sleep disorders, so sleep apnea. That one is obviously
this really bad. I won't say his name because I haven't asked his permission, but he has to sleep in a different bedroom to his wife because of his noise. How bad is that?
It's pretty bad.
And you got to remember, sleep apnea is not just like you snore a bit.
No.
If and I'll try and do it. Sorry for the gross noise video, but you hear people go, like that. They stop breathing. They stop breathing, so the body gives a shot of adrenaline out, just a bit of adrenaline to get you going again. Now imagine getting a shot of adrenaline every night of the week. That's right. Every few minutes. You can't sleep.
No.
And my mate, he's tired all day. He can sleep for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. He'll still be tired all day.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting into the non-REM sleep stages, deep stages.
Yeah.
And even if you've got a prostatic disorder, not you, but the old guys like me, they could be getting up and peeing every hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's terrible too.
Or even people that don't drink all day and they go, oh, God, I haven't drank all day. So they'll drink in the evening to get their quota, or they might have a litre, throughout the evening. Yeah. They're up all night peeing. So you just want to spread your hydration out throughout the day too, so you're not getting dehydrated at night.
Coca-Cola at night can think anything worse.
So then you've got dehydrating yourself even more, and sugar spikes.
And caffeine.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people drink Coke with their dinner.
Do they?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh. You've been to the supermarket, you've seen there's aisles of this stuff.
I don't. Yeah, I have seen aisles of it. Yeah, that's.
I haven't drunk a can of Coke, for age. I had Diet Coke semi recently, but it's sort of like having a full sugar Coke and that. And people do it at night.
Wow, that's not good.
Nuts, eh?
So there's some of the reasons. It's quite a lot there.
I think that's everybody that listens to the podcast.
Pretty much. I think we've covered most people that will resonate with one of those.
I'm pretty healthy, and I've got a few of them. It's like it's just really bad.
It is.
And then you've got like you could have children. I mean, who'd do that? But you could have. And I mean, they're the ones that keep you awake.
That's right. And there's not much you can do about that.
You can't do much about it. So again, the reasons are maybe wonderful, saving the orphanage, but you're still going to have disrupted sleep.
Yeah.
You're still going to have, major problems, and your diet's going to be dysregulated and everything. And it's very difficult to get around that.
It is, yeah.
There are kids that, even in their for years, it's usually the mums that suffer the worst because they have to breastfeed.
That's right.
There's no way around that.
No.
You're going to be screwed. We have given everyone such bad news. We've got to give them some good news now. Can we do that?
Good news. Yeah, we can do that.
So what sort of, we've been going almost now. What sort of, the classic things is nutrients, and we've talked about magnesium before. The forms of magnesium.
Yeah, so that there is better forms for sleeping than there is, throughout the day. So obviously glycinate is a really good one for relaxation. 3 and 8 is a really good one because it works really well in the brain. Yeah. So it's probably one of the better ones for sleep. A bit harder to get in this country, but you can get it. It's a little bit more expensive, but glycinate is a really great one as well, and it's readily available. Right. Yeah. So they're the two that I generally recommend. Yeah, good. They are the good ones. So magnesium is good. So the quietening magnesium. Yeah, magnesium citrate's good for the citric acid. It's energy, but it's not so much sleep one. Yeah. Well, we've got a few. We've got 5 herbs here that I've got research on, and we could talk about all of them. But what about here's one that you may know about that is actually very good for sleep, but you wouldn't think of it as good for sleep. But it is good now. You listen to the past. What about turmeric? Turmeric is really good. Turmeric is really good. But turmeric's an adaptogen. And you're going to love this study. It's published December last year. And it's a curcuminoids or turmeric.
a major turmeric component, of course, have sleep-enhancing effects by targeting the histamine H1 receptor.
Look at that.
Look at the title.
Oh, I love it. So I'm all about histamine.
Yeah. Now, if you've got too much histamine, that's really bad. Now, an antihistamines is what, if you went to the pharmacy, an S3 drug, and said, I need a sleeping tablet from over the counter, they give you an antihistamine.
Yeah.
So remember, the only thing is with turmeric is that it doesn't have any of the constipating effects, bad bowel effects, and all the other side effects. This is healthy for you.
Yes.
It's great for your joints. You go, let's say you're one of these people with, systemic inflammation, for example, then you can't sleep because you've got, chronic arthritis. Turmeric would be great for your arthritis and great for your sleep.
Yeah.
So this is why you can look at these herbs and go, which one's best for me?
Yeah.
And look, I love turmeric because it's potently anti-carcinogenic and all this other good stuff. And
It's great.
Great for all sorts of things, but
Yeah.
it's good to sleep.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Look at that.
So
herb.
yeah, and it's great for all sorts of diseases.
Yeah.
So turmeric is a good one.
Yeah, turmeric is a good one. We've got some other really good
Give us another one.
So we can do some nutrients first, and then we can do
nutrients, yeah, give us
herbs.
some
So nutrients can be really helpful as well. So obviously we talked about magnesium.
Yep.
Your B vitamins are really good because they help with nervous system function,
Yep.
that sort of thing. Vitamin C works on that adrenal output as well, so that can be helpful. Vitamin C, L-theanine, Steve.
Oh, I love L-theanine.
So what do we find L-theanine in naturally?
In teas, really.
Yeah, green tea.
Yeah.
So that's why when you have green tea, you don't get the some people get the shakes that you do with caffeine because the L-theanine actually helps to blunt that cortisol response. So L-theanine itself is really nice at night time. GABA, so GABA aminobutyric acid. It's a really good one, so we can use that.
Yep.
Naturopathically, we do that a little bit. So there's some of the nutrients that you get. Phosphatidylserine is a really nice one as well.
I saw it in the notes.
I've used that a bit. I used to give that to people. Yeah, blunts cortisol, works on the brain, so it really helps with that.
Acetylcholine release.
Yeah, exactly. So it keeps you nice and calm. Good for your memory as well.
Yeah. I forgot that.
Yeah, there you go. You really need more of it, Steve. That's what the problem is.
Really good.
So there's some nutrients, but then my favourite we go into is herbs.
Yes.
So we've got some amazing herbs that we can use to help for sleep. So we've got some amazing adaptogens that we can use.
What is an adaptogen?
So an adaptogen basically is what it sounds like. It helps your body adapt. So if you're very stressed and your cortisol is quite high, it can help to reduce your cortisol levels.
Yep.
If they're very low, it can help to bring them up. So we have calming adaptogens and we have stimulating adaptogens. So depending on where you're sitting is when we would give particular herbs. So nighttime, obviously, we want to give you the nice calming adaptogens.
Yeah.
So the top one's my favourite. We all love Withania. It's my favourite.
Withania, I mean, it's so good.
It just does so many things.
I love it because it boosts testosterone.
Yeah.
I mean, but stuff that today because we're talking about sleep. It is a great one to help you sleep. Big meta-analysis came out showing it's great to help you sleep.
Yes.
And it's also was given to people, it helps them to deal with stress.
Yeah.
So if you're a stress head who can't sleep, this is that herb for you.
Yeah.
We've got the turmeric, which is Yeah. So or if you're an older man like me and wants more testosterone, this can help with that.
Yeah, it's great. It's also a blood builder. If you've got low iron, that can impact your sleep as well. So
Absolutely
there you go.
Can.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really good one for that sort of thing. Now I want to give you another one. What about California poppy?
I love it. It's a good hypnotic, Steve.
Hypnotic. Woo.
Hypnotic. Yeah.
It's hypnotic because it's GABAergic.
That's right.
So GABA is that thing, GABA aminobutyric acid, which sedates the brain. So another good one if you can't sleep because you're stressed or your circadian rhythm's out.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, so, it's a nice sedating one. So a really good one for nighttime because it does have that sedative effect.
And it does modulate too. So, but it's really one. It's in this particular study. This is published 2015. It's a sedative, anxiolytic, which is anti-anxiety, and analgesic. So it's a good one for pain relief. So again, this would combine very, very well with the turmeric for the brain.
Yeah.
So very, very good one for that.
I'll give you another one, Steve.
What's that?
Passion flower.
Passion. Oh, that's the one of the first ones I learnt about.
Is it?
Yeah. When I was we had to write we didn't know anything about herb medicine. First year of herb medicine, you got to write a bit about a herb.
I'll tell you mine. Yeah, after you told me yours. Oh, you told me yours.
Passion flower.
Yeah, passion flower. Oh, and did you like the herb after that or hate it?
I loved it.
Oh, see, I hated my herb because it was.
What was your herb?
I had Ziziphus.
Oh, that's a good sleep one.
It is a good. We haven't put that in there, but Ziziphus is a good sleep one.
It is a
Actually,
good one.
very good for postmenopausal women. Actually,
Is it? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, good for sleep maintenance. I think from memory,
Yeah.
but I hated it because again, first herb we had to learn, had to do the paper research, reference it, all that sort of thing, and I just like, oh no, I couldn't find anything. So I, don't find anything on it.
It is a bit of a weird.
It was a
one.
bit of a harder one back then, so I hated Ziziphus from then on. Yeah, but I love passion flower.
Passion flower is good. Now I'm going to quote to you a randomised, double-blind, placebo crossover trial. Does everyone know what that means? That's
sure.
a very strong piece of evidence. It
Yes.
means that that the double-blind means that the herbalist or doctor, whoever was giving the tablet, didn't know what he or she was giving out to the individual. The individual didn't know what they were receiving, but they looked identical. The placebo is a mimic of the active, whatever it is. In this case, it's passion flower. And then they crossed them over. So in other words, at the end of the trial, they measure their sleep and then they just crossed them over.
Oh, he got so excited he's knocked his microphone
They
off.
crossed them over. And so it wasn't just a fluke. And so this is a very, very strong piece of evidence. And in this study, they found that the passion flower was remarkable at improving sleep. Absolutely incredible.
I love it. I use it a lot.
I won't mention the drug before, but we saw a study before where they measured against the placebo, and it was a migraine medication. I would even say that. And it reduced migraine by 4 a month, which was pretty good. The placebo, 3.
3. Yeah. So you one less migraine, but then you had all the side effects and the drug that was listed.
42% side effects.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good one, that one.
Oh,
so I think I'd stick with passion flower.
That's a brand new drug too. That's
it is
just
a brand
been
new
released
drug.
by
Yeah, it's a whole
that's
nother.
a shocker.
It's a whole nother podcast we could do.
Oh, that's a shocker one.
Yeah, so passion flower is beautiful, and withania, as I said, in your California poppy, nice little mix there to put together. Great to have before bed.
Really good.
Yeah, really nice and calming.
What else you got?
Oh God, we've got plenty. We've got holy basil. That's another one of my favourites.
Holy basil, that is a good one.
Yeah, so Tulsi is what people like to call it. Yeah, that's nice and calming. This one is one of my favourites. Gotu kola.
Yeah,
I love Gotu kola.
That's
herb.
a great adaptation.
Yeah, you know what they call Gotu kola, Steve?
What?
Nature's Botox.
Really?
Yeah, because it builds collagen. Very good for the skin.
Ah, it does too.
Yeah, and it's an adaptogen, so it's nice and calming.
It's good for your brain.
Good for your brain.
There's 3 herbs that I love for the brain, and one of them we're doing a podcast on after this one.
Yeah.
But ginkgo biloba, rhodiola, we're doing a podcast on that later. Which is that's blew my mind away. And of course, they've got a cola. So
they're really
good one for the brain. There, I'll hit you one.
Yeah.
What about your Sandra?
I love Shizandra.
Yeah.
For so many reasons.
Oh,
Liver, adaptogen, anti-inflammatory, so many things.
It's good for you, but I'm going to read the title here, and it gets published in Planta Medica. Last year, November, it says raw and or I'll just cut it down. Schisanda berries regulate non-REM sleep and alleviate cardiovascular dysfunction associated with insomnia by modulating the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis.
Think about.
So this is a really good one if you're stressed and can't sleep.
Yeah, I love Schisandra.
Schisandra is remarkable. It's good for all this other crap that we won't go into.
Yeah, so many different things. But sleep.
Have we done a podcast on Schisandra?
There is a podcast, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, on Schisandra.
Man.
Yeah, go back and find that one. It's a brilliant herb.
I want to get my. I think that is a really good one. Ooh, yes, sir.
Yeah, so there's plenty. There's heaps of those, and then we even have some perhaps in the morning. We haven't really talked about the CAR, your cortisol awakening response, and how that can flip around. And some people can have low cortisol in the morning and then obviously higher at night. So that's where they have that dysregulation. So the CAR, we didn't really cover testing, but we can test your CAR, your cortisol awakening response. So that basically maps it from when you first get up in the morning, so that first measurement, and then your CAR should peak. So within half an hour of waking, half an hour to an hour is when it peaks up, and then it slowly comes back down throughout the day. So you have that sort of up and then slowly down pattern. A lot of people, that can be quite dysregulated. We can tell a lot naturopathically by what your CAR is doing. So if you then have trouble getting up in the morning, then we've got more stimulating adaptogens that we can use then. So we use the nice calming ones at night. In the morning, we bring in things like rhodiola, which we're doing a little podcast on that as well later. So that's a really nice
really good
stimulating one. Licorice, really good.
Is good too.
Yeah, that's good for getting your cortisol up.
Getting up. And this fits into insomnia because you want to be stressed in the morning a bit. Well, you're stressed. you want to be stimulated in the morning.
You want to have a healthy cortisol awakening response. So, if your cortisol is flat in the morning, then you're having a problem. So,
well, we call them flatliners in the medical literature, where their cortisol is like level straight across.
Yeah.
And that's extraordinarily unhealthy.
It is.
Because what you described before, the big spike in the morning and easing off, that's actually healthy.
Yes.
This one where it's just flat lines along is incredibly, these people struggle throughout. We've got a staff member here who we did a training on, and he struggles with this badly.
Yeah.
And he's otherwise healthy.
Yeah. And that's where you come back to the light, get outside in the morning. That light into the back of the eye is what helps to stimulate that cortisol. So you want to get in the light during the day and get that stimulation, and then get away from it at night time. Because most people if they're not flatlined, they have a lower cortisol in the morning, and then it comes up at night, and then they can't sleep. So you want to flip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we've talked about in this podcast is essentially, I'm going to really summarise this, is three areas. The first one is that there's all these things that cause sleep dysfunction.
Yeah.
Too many things to mention. We've gone through them all.
So many.
The second thing is that you can't ignore it because it causes disease.
Well, we listed off the diseases, and some people might think, I sleep all right, but it can have a huge impact long term. So look at it now.
And the third one is we've got some solutions that don't just do the solutions.
Yes.
Go to the causes too.
Yes. Treat the cause.
Yep.
Look at your lifestyle.
Yep.
The light is really important.
Really important.
Yeah. So and then bring in some of your beautiful adaptogenic herbs and hopefully that should help you.
And speaking of light, you've also played some light noises.
Oh yes, I did look at light noises. That's right. Actually, we can play a few light noises if we've got time. So we've heard of white noise.
White noise sounds like this.
Yeah. Did you know now there's pink noise?
Sounds like this.
There's brown noise. I like brown noise. Is my favourite.
Yeah,
probably not the best name, but this is my favourite noise.
As long as you don't get it confused with the brown note.
No, the brown note. And my brother, I don't know if my brother listens to these, but he should because I'm on it. But but he has, I was saying before, I won't say what he has, but he has brown noise in something that he has that's attached to him, and he did it for a reason because brown noise. What does it do, Steve?
Well, it causes anal seepage. Can we say that on the podcast?
Yeah. Well, you just said it.
We just said it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what it causes.
Yeah. But that's not brown.
Sphincter relaxation.
Yeah, not that brown noise. It's a brown note. Brown note. A bit different.
It's about 8 megahertz.
There you go. So
It's a very low note.
Just keep away from 8 megahertz if you're out during the day.
Maybe it's only 8 hertz. Actually, I think it's only 8 hertz. It's only like do, but not do it.
Don't do it. So yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah. So, but no brown noise. There's green noise. There's all these different noises now that can help to calm you, and some are stimulating, some are relaxing. You can even get machines like noise machines now that you play at nighttime. They have all the different coloured noises to help.
It's funny because in the old days you thought sleep was something you did when you weren't awake.
Yes.
And look at us now.
Right.
It's complex shit.
It's very complex.
And your brain is active. You're not just switching off.
There's a lot to it. And I think what I really loved about researching this is it just makes you remember that physiologically we have to listen to our body, and we really have lost sight of our rhythms and, what our body does throughout the day because of the modern world. And we really need to get back and really get more in touch with our natural rhythms to help our health.
Some things you can do about this too. It's not like
there's a lot we can do for sleep. Yeah. You don't just have to take a sleeping pill. There's so many things you can do to improve your sleep that, don't really lifestyle lights to start with. I mean, that's not a hard thing to work around.
Exactly. Get off the screen time.
Get on your red light things. They're awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so I've got my red light one on. It's so cool.
Is that normally pink or is that?
No, look, and I'll flick it again. And it goes blue again.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Because I've got an iPad, I've got a cheap phone.
Oh, do you? Well, I don't know. I'm sure other phones have it. You can look it up online as to how to do it. It's quite. I'm sure everyone that's techie these days know how to do it. I had to look it up, but but things like that in your TV. Most people have smart TVs these days, so get onto that. And they're little things you can do. Turn your lights down at night. Put some lamps on instead. Get away from the blue lights. Get off your computers, and don't work at night if you. Unless you absolutely have to, but get off the screen, computer screen at night time if you can.
Get a routine going.
Get a routine going. Yep. And it will be a huge difference to you.
All else fails, pick some of those herbs.
Yes, get on the herbs are great.
Nutrients.
Yep.
Excellent,
definitely.
Nick.
Yeah.
I think we've run out of time.
I think we have 2. I'm tired now and I have to sleep.
Well, we're under all this white light. It's kind of
I know. It's all the blue lights coming through. Yeah, we need to.
Right.
Yeah,
We'll be next week. We're going to do another podcast.
We
which
are.
should be another one on the brain.
yes,
Should be good.
will be.
See you
Fun.
later.
Yeah, see ya.
Next week. Bye.
Bye.